So I had a comment, and I wanted to just jump on here and clarify a bit of the teaching, because again, anytime I'm talking about the divine counterpart relationship, what the journey is, again, the term twin flame, I don't like it because it's very over commercialized and everybody uses it, and that's fine, but to me it cheapens it. That's not really what the journey is about. It's not about finding your twin flame or whatever that is. So when we think of the energy of connection, okay, so let's break it down into energies, because essentially that's what we are here to learn on planet Earth, is how to work with the energy that we are and the energy of creation, the energy of the universe. And so we exist in a dualistic system. So there is masculine and there is feminine, and those are the two polarities. Now, in terms of the completeness of self, you have to have an equilibrium. You have to be balanced. And when I say have to, the journey is to create this equilibrium in a sustainable way within the self, or the beingness that you are experiencing. And so this is part of the soul's evolution, the growth of a soul. And this happens over many incarnations. Again, a lot of individuals are not going to like the idea of the incarnation cycle because it goes against teachings that they have learned, from birth. That's fine. If you don't want to think about multiple incarnations, that's okay. But what I want to say to this is that, okay, let's think of it in another way. If you have 100 years on Earth, and that seems like a long lifetime, yet you are looking for your spirit being energy, to exist eternally. So from the construct of a religious dogmatic perspective, it is being taught that we want eternal life. We want a never-ending aspect. And this is the highest thing that we are to attain, is this eternal existence. Then you have to kind of logically ask the question to the self, well, what are you going to do for eternity? So, you might want to have a great experience, or a multitude of great experiences in this eternal system. So incarnation, having an incarnation, the energy or the essence of spirit or soul coming into a body, because we also all have established that bodies break down, they decompose. You are in this body vehicle for a certain amount of time, especially in linear time space, and then you set that body aside, you lay the body aside, and that energy that you are returns to source, returns to spirit. Again, some religions teach it as heaven, but really that terminology just means that you are going to, or returning to, a place of oneness, or the source. And just like the body has layers, so we have layers of the skin and the organs, and there's, when we look at structure and subatomic, atomic, the molecular structure, the elemental structures, the cellular structures, and everything that are the building blocks of even just a body, then it's a very easy leap for consciousness to understand that also levels of existence have layers. So we can draw a comparison from that and understand that heaven, or this concept of another dimension, also has layers. And And this dimensionality, or dimensional, I don't even know how I'm gonna put that into words, but the dimensionality of these different energetic points of existence, it's just going to be another experience. It's nothing to be afraid of. And if you haven't attained it, it's not a bad thing, because you are learning and growing and evolving in the reality, or in the projection of consciousness that you are currently experiencing. So it's just super important that you don't worry about it. Whatever you are experiencing now is great. Another comparison that I can draw to this is like when you're a kid, just enjoy being a kid. Don't worry about being a teenager or being an adult. Don't try to rush the process. There's a reason, there's a divine plan to the process. So back to my original reason for making this video. When we talk about divine counterparts, you will not need, it's an absolute reflection of self that you will see incarnated into another. So with the comment saying that, you want variety, and there's so many different relationships, and that this wonderful individual thought maybe that they have had a lot of twin flames or a lot of divine counterparts. I just want to kind of teach this the way that it's been given to me. I don't want to say correctly, because everybody has their different spectrum of consciousness, but essentially, if you are in that stage of consciousness where you are seeking a multiplicity of experiences, that's wonderful, but it means that you are likely learning lessons or gaining experience, expressing the energy of love with high-level soulmates, people that are within your soul family, and that's what you have decided before this incarnation, and that's wonderful. And the variety, that's again a beautiful expression of love energy. There's nothing incorrect about that in any regard, but it's not a divine counterpart relationship, because essentially we will call home our divine counterpart to us in our essentially our last incarnation. It's when we have decided that we no longer need, for the evolution of our consciousness, to incarnate into a three-dimensional vehicle on Earth, that we will have that final experience with our divine counterpart, and that is just ourselves. And it's really difficult to necessarily put this into words, and you will know from the very depths of your core if this is something that you are seeking, and if this is what you have come to experience. It's the totality of it, of being in this kind of union. It's so complete that all of those requirements, or all of those, the desire for variety, it's all packed into one person. It's all there. It's enough. It's completeness. So you would never have to look outside of that oneness for anything else. And because of its completeness and the totality of, and the strength of that love energy, nothing else could even come close to touching it. And so again, hopefully this is making sense in terms of teaching this correctly, and making sure that you understand that there's no judgment in either path. All paths are beautiful. I've talked to so many individuals that truly believe that their incarnation, or where they're at in this particular incarnation, that they need to experience the variety. And through that experience of variety, they come back into a knowingness of what they require. And sometimes this happens in one lifetime, and sometimes it happens over multiple lifetimes. And again, that reflection, let's say it is a high-level soulmate, the reflection of what you're experiencing helps your soul to know itself. And that's why there are going to be times where people trigger you, or the reflection of who you're interacting with, a seed of knowingness starts to kind of grow within you, that you know that this is not a balancing attribute that you would need expressed in a divine counterpart. And so it helps you to understand what you require for total surrender, or total expansion, that exact blueprint of the divine journey of love. And it's all of it is good. That's what I'm trying to say. There doesn't really need to be any frustration or any worry in it, because if you haven't found it, or if you are in relationship with somebody that doesn't maybe reflect back to you absolutely everything that you require, at least they're giving you that knowledge of what you need to seek for. And to also not give up, to not settle for what is not the completeness, or not the full expression of what your innermost desire needs to experience to fulfill that very high vibration, or that high calibration of experiential love. Okay, I'm gonna get back to work, but I wanted to just quickly make a video about this before that little bit of insight left me. Okay, have a great day.